Hey yogis, this is Mo and I'm going to talk to you about chair yoga. Usually we put off our yoga practice saying we don't have half an hour or 1 hour, but really most of the times the body doesn't really need half an hour or 1 hour of practice. Sometimes all you need is a 5-minute break in the middle of a busy day, just to get your mind off things that are possibly worrying you, and to get back to your body and to get back into your breath. So here are a few things that I do to relieve the stress and make myself feel good. And usually I always get back to work with a fresh mind, a fresh perspective, and feel a lot less stressed. So here goes. First thing, find a chair that's nice and stable. So prefer not to have wheels on the base. It's nice and firm. Most offices usually have wheels on the chairs. If they do, then put the chair against a wall so that you don't kind of slip and fall. Remember, safety is always the most important thing. So when you start, sit all the way back with your hips right against the back of the chair. So you don't want to be sitting here and then rounding your back, which is what we usually do when we're working on keyboards. The idea is to get your body in a nice tall spine, sitting up straight kind of mode. So sit all the way back so you're reminded to keep your spine tall, and see if your feet can reach all the way down. If they do, great. If they don't, no worries. We're all built differently and chairs are all different. So first, just start with your breath. Take a few deep inhales, a few deep exhales. Set your intention, and the intention could be something as simple as, yes, I'm stressed, and yes, I have things to worry about, but I'm not going to bother about it for the next 5 minutes. Once I finish my stretches, I'll get back to them. And then when you're ready, circle your arms overhead, interlace your fingers and push up to the sky. So you're literally pushing down on your sit bones as you lengthen your spine and take your palms up towards the sky. And then with each inhale, increase the length of your spine. With each exhale, push down with your feet. There are no rules. You can hold this for a couple of breaths, or whenever you feel you've had enough of a stretch, slowly, mindfully come back down. Now a few points here. Sometimes we are tight at the shoulders, so we might end up looking like this, which is fine. Over time, and without using force, just gently try and open out the body so that your arms start coming next to your ears. And if it doesn't, it's no big deal. Don't force it. Stay where you are with your range of motion and try and improve it with each breath. But don't force it, because if you force anything, it's basically your ego saying you've got to be in a certain position, and your body is far stronger than your ego. Your body will always win. So that's the first one, initial spinal stretch. The next one, stick your right arm to the side of the chair. Inhale, take your left arm up so that your left side starts becoming taller. The left side of your torso starts becoming taller. And then slowly bend over, so it's a lateral bend. Bend over to the right. Now if you notice, what I'm not doing is just moving my spine by lifting my hip. I'm not doing this. I'm sticking my left hip down into the chair even more as I extend the left side of my body and then move over. So you could stop here as long as you're feeling a nice stretch on the left side of your body. That's all we're looking for. Inhale, increase the left side of your body. Exhale, push down with your feet, or if your feet don't reach down, point your toes up so that you get a nice stretch on the backs of your calves. And slowly release. And of course, repeat on the other side. Inhale, take your right arm up and push down. When you're pushing down, make sure you're pushing down your right hip even more so that you're not moving your spine through space, you're only bending it. And release. The next one is a twist. Once again, make sure you're sitting all the way back in the chair. Your hips are literally touching the backrest of the chair. Inhale, spine tall, exhale, just twist. Use the back of the chair as a means to twist. Now when you twist, I'm twisting to the right, I feel my left hip moving away from the back of the chair. So push that left hip back to where it belongs and keep twisting. Inhale, increase the length of the spine, exhale, twist. And use the back of the chair, and if you've got an armrest, use that armrest to keep twisting just through your range of motion and maybe a little more through a mindful challenge. No forced moves, there's nothing to achieve, you just have to be mindful of your breath and your body. It's as simple as that. And then when you're ready, slowly release. Again, no rules. You can keep the stretch for 2 breaths, 3 breaths, 5 breaths, whatever feels good. And as always, the other side. Inhale, spine tall, exhale, twist. And it helps if you follow through with your neck. And release. The next one is a back bend. It's always a little more challenging for most of us. So for the back bend, it's preferable if you stand, and if your chair has wheels below it, make sure it's set against the wall. For the back bend, stand up tall, reach for the back of the chair, squeeze your shoulder blades in, push your hips forward, and take your heart up towards the sky. That's it. If you want, hang your head back. If you find this very dizzy or frightening, stick your chin to your neck. So instead of doing this, stick your chin to your chest. So once again, just hold the backs of the chairs. Squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other. Push your hips forward. Take your heart up. Maybe chin up or chin sticking to your chest, whatever works. Again, hold till you're comfortable. When you're coming out, maybe you want to get one palm onto your lower back. Slowly support your way back. No rapid movements here, and slowly settle down. The next move is a forward fold. And there are a few ways you can do this. One is to get one ankle on top of the other knee. So you sit like this. Again, both your hips are touching the back of the chair. Inhale, spine tall, exhale, fold forward. Now you might end up feeling stuck here, which is fine. You can rest your arms on your leg and just feel the stretch. You should be feeling a stretch on the glute of the leg that is bent, and maybe your lower back. And then just take a few breaths here. If you feel you're loosening up, maybe go down a little more. And once you feel that resistance, stop, just get in with your breath. Inhale, spine tall, exhale. Just see if you can release down just 1 millimeter more. Once you get used to this, maybe you can go down a lot more. Maybe release your arms down. Maybe your middle back will round. That's okay. And again, just hold till you're comfortable. And then when you're coming back up, inhale, slowly back up. Release the leg. Check in with how you feel. And then move over to the other side. Inhale, spine tall. Exhale, see where you meet your resistance. Breathe. See if you can coax your body into a little more. Breathe. And release all the way down if you can. If you can't, it's no big deal. Stay where you feel the stretch working. And then slowly come back up and release. So if you notice, all we did was move the spine through all the various ranges of motion that a spine usually has. One is extension, making it tall. Second is twisting. Third is lateral bends. Fourth is a back bend. And fifth is a forward fold. Forward folds are usually the most calming. So if you really want to calm down, keep the forward fold last. If you want to energize, use the back bend as your last move. I hope you enjoy your stretches. There is no rule that says you cannot stretch in the office. Go ahead, do yourself a favor, take a mini break. Thank you for watching, yogis.